Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, a recovering Democrat Sadiq, also known as the Black Yule Brenner. We are live. Earlier, we were not live. It was our podcast that we had not done in a long time, but we are back in the saddle and back at it. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out after this show. And if you watched it, let us know how you enjoyed it. What's your opinion on the things that we talked about? So up front, I'd like to say the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. I'd like to say a big giant thank you and welcome once again to Donovan for sitting here. Also, does more than just sit here. Also, I'd like to say a big giant thank you, welcome, and hello to YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you viewers, but you are participants because sometimes we share the link. All I ask is that if I share the link and I've not seen you on here before and your picture or your screen looks like this, please show me this so that I can verify that there's no shenanigans. And if you want to go back to that, you are more than welcome to do that. Just know that no one else can see you but me, not even Donovan can see you before I bring you up to the big screen. All right. I also ask that if you are in the comment section or on the panel, please let's be respectful of everybody. We have to watch our words because sometimes the algorithm does pick up certain things. So sometimes you guys say, oh, well, you didn't read my comment. And then you might, think that it has a word in there that is somewhat filtered out. So I'm not deleting comments from my end, just so you know. So today, Donovan actually had a pretty good idea for once in a while, right? It's rare. No, I'm just kidding. But we're going to talk about what does a Trump or Biden presidency look like for the Black community, because we are getting close to that time, right? And so we need to examine what does that actually look like? Because we've been talking about, voting for Biden or Trump or the couch, but even the couch, like, okay, what are we going to do, right? So we're going to get into that. Brother Abdul, how you doing? Hey, Troy, I hope you're doing well. So Donovan, what say you?
What say me? As I say, welcome to the program. It's glad to have you guys back. Do me a favor. You guys see that scrolling banner at the very bottom that says, please donate? If you can, take a week away from your weed, a little away from your little Cisco, a little bit from your from your lottery ticket, if you so be it, and go ahead and see if you can donate to help keep the channel going, because that does motivate the content creator to keep making these great videos and do these great things. Like I said, we like the kind that rolls and jingles, but we prefer the kind that folds, or Cash App straight in, ching on your phone. But we appreciate anything you guys can do in regards to that. Also, don't forget to download the African Diaspora News Channel app. Let me tell you guys, they're going to Ethiopia next year. Ethiopia, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, the original Hebrews who actually dwelled in that land. I think it's going to be great if you guys can do it. You guys can check out the information on the African Diaspora News Channel, and you could even meet up with Demetra K and Phil Scott himself and ask him the questions you really want to ask him in real time. So it's going to be an interesting project. You can get the information on the African Diaspora website, YouTube page, and so on and so forth. Also, thank you guys for tuning in. We love you guys in the comments, and it's all love. We don't have to agree. It's here to exercise different ideas. But this subject that we're going to talk about today, I think, is very important because one way or the other, it's going to be Biden or Trump. And 4 years of Biden, we've had 4 years of Trump. And you have to ask yourself, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? And so on, so forth. And that, I think that's going to be a good discussion and a good question. And also, do not forget to check out some of our other content creators that are here on the show. You got Roland's Review. You got Your Average Logical Thinker. She dropped a gem. I was watching it late last night. And, it just made you think about certain things. And it has to do with relationships and family dynamics. So you guys, let's support each other and keep that information going, because it gives us a different perspective. So, Demetra, let's see where we're going to go with this. Let's see some of the answers we're going to get. So let's do it.
Black America, I ain't said one word, and here you are with the stuff already. So anyway, the question has been posed. Okay. What does a Trump or Biden presidency look like for the Black community? Now, we often ask that question. We talk about it because Donovan and I, we were pondering this toward the end of the podcast that we did, what we're going to talk about. And so we've kind of both decided that we've talked about politics quite a bit. Of course, we're going to keep talking about it. But what else do we say after that? And so Donovan says, well, why don't we, do some sort of a prediction or projection? What does it look like for us? Now, of course, we know that Joe Biden, who is the president now, if you haven't heard, he has been in Washington for over 50 years as a senator, vice president, and the president, which he is currently now. Of course, we know that he has shaped and legislated some laws, quite a few, I would imagine, that has been very adverse to Black people. Okay. And on this show, we talk about Black people. Sometimes we reference other people, but we mostly talk about us. Okay. Now we know that Trump was the president, right? Of course, he's had some kind of janky things that he's done in the past, but when we talk about, and when I say janky things in the past, talking about as far as Black people, but when we talk about him being the president, which he has never held any political office up until that moment, right? What has he actually done to the Black community? And so actually, before I came on here, was watching this really good film on Netflix called Power, and it talks about policing in America, and it's very gut wrenching. When I say gut wrenching, I was so mad and upset that I almost didn't even want to come on here today. I started to really cancel because I was just that mad. But it did this timeline from presidents all the way back to Johnson, and he even brought in J. Edgar Hoover, even though he wasn't president, but he was the head of the FBI, right? So all the presidents, and including y'all beloved Barack Obama, they all increased the police budget. Now we know that Black people, especially Black men and boys in America, are disproportionately affected by the police more than anybody. And again, that film is called Power. Very, very informational. It's a documentary. So when I thought about it in those terms, it's like a Biden or a Trump presidency, they're going to both be the same for us as Black people, right? It's going to be harmful. And if you ask me, and some people are going to get mad, I don't think either one of them see value on Black life at all. But we know that one party more so than the other party, the Republicans, they're starting to cater to, or I don't even say cater, that's the wrong word. They're starting to pander to Black voters more so than they have before. But we know that that's what the Democrats do. They pander to Black people. They show up at our churches, and even graduations. I do commencement speeches, as that of President Joe Biden did at Morehouse this past Sunday, which was also Malcolm X's 99th birthday. Sounds like he went and just said a bunch of nothing and the same old, same old. But they do all that pandering. And Black people are the most loyal group of voters, and we get nothing in return for it. And we watch them do for everybody else. When I say everybody else, I mean migrants, Asians, LGBTQ. They actually called Barack Obama the first gay president. Not that he was gay, but that he legislated for the LGBT community more than any other president. So we are watching a whole lot of people get stuff that we are not getting. Of course, we as Black people are asking for reparations and a whole host of other things. We're asking for real police reform. Joe Biden says that he has done that, but that only applies to the federal level. Federal meaning Border Patrol, CIA, FBI, those agents. That's all he has any control over. He doesn't have any control over the state or local police officers. And it is said that, and in this documentary, I'm telling y'all, it's called Power. Y'all should really check it out. It says that you would think Joe Biden or Trump, whoever gets into office, would be considered to be the most powerful men or thing in the United States of America. They say that's not true. It's actually the police, because they said you're more than likely not going to have Trump or Biden come up to you and stick a gun in your chest and kill you. The police will do that. They have unbridled power, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger with each president that goes into the Oval Office. They just do. The police budget, I think they said, is, if I'm not mistaken, about $130 billion now. Okay. That's a lot, right? And if I'm not mistaken, the documentary said it was about million police officers in some way, shape, or form within the United States. So then you think about Trump, who is a Republican, and he wasn't always a Republican. He used to be a Democrat all of his life. Okay. But since he's representing the Republicans, Republicans has never loved Black people, never, ever, ever. In fact, they do, even to this day, they legislate against Black people in every way that they can. Affirmative action is gone. Not that that was really for us, but they said it was. Certain things they want to teach in school, just a whole bunch of stuff, right? So we know that Republicans have never been for Black people. So then you think about it. You have Biden or Trump. They're going to go in. One of them's going into the White House in November or in January. That's when the inauguration will be. One of them's going in there, and with just the minimal things that I said, because we'll talk about more throughout the show, none of that is favorable to Black people. So then you have this other thing called the couch, which we, tongue in cheek, right? We say it, and a lot of people mean it. Brother Abdul, I see you say you ain't voting, so I guess that means the couch if we don't get reparations, right? But what should we be doing on that couch? Should we just be eating popcorn, watching the returns and all of that? Or should we be saying that I did not vote for either party and that I stayed on this couch? How do I get to the point to where I get with my fellow Black people and we come up with a solution of unity, right? Because as I was watching that film, it talked about how we know the police department came into play during slavery, right? It's especially regarding us during slavery, the patty rollers and all of that, and it just morphed into what it is today. And those powers, police powers, were to suppress Black people, even on a plantation. Where you going, boy? Where you going, gal? You have to produce your papers, right? So we still see those type of things today. So their objective is to stop Black unity. And unfortunately, we stop Black unity too, because we don't participate in it as much as our ancestors used to. So I'm saying, as I give it to Donovan, and I'm going to get to you guys' comments, as we think about sitting on this couch, let's not be couch potatoes. Let's actually be strategizing on that couch, pen and paper in hand, thinking about what it is we're going to do, because one of those people are going to get in office, and Black people, if we think we bad off now, you just wait till after election season, because Trump can't get back in office again. If Biden gets in there, he can't get back into office again. What do y'all think they're going to do? So we need to prepare for whatever they're going to do, and it ain't going to be good. Donovan?
Woo! You said a lot there that is basically, if you really think about it, it's very scary. It's very scary for Black people because, again, they can't run for office. So either one of them, whatever they do promise Black people, they don't have to deliver because they can't run for office again. And that's what everybody's got to understand. That is why your vote, you really got to think about what your vote is going to do. Hey, y'all get me in there and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. We can't be falling for that no more. You got to show us the money now. Put the money on the table now. Transfer it in our bank accounts now, the down payment now, because I have no trust that once you get in there, you're going to do anything. I mean, how many examples in our face are they going to show us that, right? So I'm going to break it down into two things really quick. If Joe Biden gets into office, and this is what I'm afraid of, because for 4 years, this man has had the power to affect change specifically to the Black community, which is continually falling behind. We are behind every other group. Every other group that comes here within 5 years does better than Black people that are natively born here. That's a fact. Okay, they open businesses in our communities and all this other stuff. We're the specific Black business grant so that we can employ our own people. President Biden could do that, but he hasn't done that. Kamala Harris is missing in action, and I think she's Black this week. Don't quote me. But from the 4 years that I've seen of Biden with the immigration that has come in, 4 more years. If you thought the first 4 years was going to be bad, wait till you see the next 4 years, because you guys, and I keep pushing this and I keep trying to tell you guys this. The people that he is letting in here that have to wait 5 to 7 years for 2 court dates to see if they can stay, what the hell do you think they're doing while they're here. They're having babies. And those babies and those numbers, I think the number that they said is officially 3 million people have entered the United States illegally that the Border Patrol knows about. But it's estimated unofficially 7 million people have come here, not including the 11 million that was here before the borders was opened wide open, okay, that lived in the shadows. So let's go with the 7 million that they say in the 4 years that Biden has left here. Okay, they finally get their court dates, right? And the courts are going to rule, no, you came here illegally, you got to go back. Guess what? They can't go back because their kids are American. So now they're anchored here. So how does that affect you? Even though the jobs ain't great, the fast food and the minimum wage jobs, the janitorial jobs, you know, they're not great jobs, but they're jobs. Guess who's going to work those jobs? Those people are. So if they're going to work them, what are you going to do? You don't have a college education. You probably dropped out of school. You're probably a weed head or whatever. And then you finally turn your life around, whatever you're doing, whatever decisions you're making, right? Those jobs are not going to be available because AI is now coming in, whatever. This is all under the Biden administration. This is just a little fraction of what I see the future for us as Black people in the next 4 years. If this man gets reelected, he has no incentive to better our situation. Zero, zilch. He had his shot. He promised us specifically stuff, didn't do it. I would not vote for the man. Now, as far as Trump goes, again, 3-year difference in age. He comes from an age of, you know, discriminatory stuff. He's an a-hole, whatever you want to say. But the bottom line is he was building a wall that benefited Black people. And I'm not trying to pump up Trump. But what I'm saying is 4 years ago, the economy was better under a Donald Trump administration. Like him or hate him, it is what it is. When the PPP loans were going out, Trump said, give them the money. We'll figure it out later. We will do this stuff later. And the money was happening and people were taking advantage of it. And it was good. But under Biden, he's extending the time that they can go after people for abusing the system and whatever else they were doing. This is a man that is objectively anti-Black. So you got to ask yourself, common sense wise, are you better off, especially as Black people? When Donald Trump first ran for office, what was the group of people he was concerned about? Predominantly, the Hispanics. He said they're this, they're that, they're this, they're that, they're this, they're that. He wasn't concentrating on no Black people. He wasn't concentrating on us. But the Biden administration did. So I want you guys to remember this. We have civil rights era people that are still with us. And God, we love them. They fought that civil rights movement for themselves, and they benefited from the civil rights movement. No problem. Don't have a problem with it. And I want you guys to continue to talk to those people. You're probably not going to convince them. They're probably not going to change their mind, and that's fine. But the point is, some of them will. Okay? But here's what the civil rights people don't understand. How many of you guys realize that Lyndon Baines Johnson is a starch racist? In the time of Truman and Eisenhower, he was the Senate Majority Leader. Did you know it was that one person that stopped all of civil rights legislation up until the time he became the vice president for John Kennedy? And the only reason he signed the civil rights legislation is because his house was burning from within, all the unrest and all this other stuff. And I want to leave you guys with this. And remember this is the exact quote from Lyndon Baines Johnson. So if you're a civil rights era person, you probably don't know this because you guys like a lot of symbolism. He said, when I sign this legislation, it's going to have those N-words voting Democrat for 500 years. And guess what? He hasn't been proven wrong yet.
Yep, and you know that's what they said. He said, and so I just kind of want to piggyback off a lot of things that you said. You think about it, when Biden came into office, that's when George Floyd was murdered by that of Derek Chauvin, right? And so we saw the country and unrest, and we had all these, politicians on one knee with kente cloths on, and all this other stuff, right? And then when Joe Biden got elected, he says, Black people, y'all stood by me, I'm gonna stand by you. Then he got in there, especially in regards to something like George Floyd, and he says, I'm not getting rid of the police or something like that. And basically, he wasn't gonna do police reform. In fact, he says we need to give more money. We need to fund them more, is what he said, right? Remember, George Floyd, that was a lynching. I don't care what y'all say. It was a straight up lynching. The whole world saw it. Joe Biden slapped his most loyal group of voters in the face when he got into office and gave that watered down, police reform, again, only on the federal level, right? Then Trump gets into office, when he got into office, rather, and even when he was campaigning, he says, I'm going to be the president of law and order. Now, throughout time, and the film really touched on this as well, we've seen all these presidents get in there and they talk about law and order, tough on crime, funding the police, giving more money. They need more police. We need more money. We need to make sure these neighborhoods and these criminals and this, that, and the other. And Joe Biden, he was a senator. He was big on that. He'd be damned if his mama and them be hit over the head, they person snatched by, these hoodlums. And he said much stronger language. But so again, you look at the both of them, neither one of them are going to legislate on behalf of Black people. They're just not. And so when you really sit and drown out all of the noise on the internet and all the talking heads and stuff, and you really, really think about what we as Black Americans are getting ready to face, it's crazy. Like, y'all thought we were in trouble now. You just wait. And it makes me more upset because we get into, and I don't want to call it low-hanging fruit like it doesn't matter to somebody, but we get involved in the low-hanging fruit, like what Diddy is doing. Not saying it, again, that what he's doing should be brushed to the side, but then we get in these rap beefs and this and that and just stuff, and it's like, you have to ask yourself, like, what did I gain personally for being involved in that stuff? And like I told y'all a couple of weeks ago, I personally made it a point to delete blogs, all the blogs, and delete negative people who always got something crazy to say, the vision or whatever it is. I made it a point to just get rid of those people because I don't want to see it. I don't want to be influenced by that nonsense. And I want to go back to that of LBJ, what you said. And you're absolutely right. A lot of people cite LBJ, civil rights, he championed civil rights. It's like, did he? Or was he forced to do it? And Donovan, like you said, we know that Martin Luther King Jr., a real one, I'm not taking nothing from him, he was used to usher in that, right? Of course, he, along with a whole bunch of other people, was fighting for what we thought was civil rights. But if you think about the dynamics of LBJ and MLK did exactly what he was told to do. And he was also told that, per that of Malcolm X, from the Kennedy administration, go and keep them docile. You could tell them they fighting for civil rights and that they matter and we're going to do something, but don't allow them to cause mayhem for the rest of us. When we say the rest of us, and when they say the rest of us, they mean white folks, and people who they thought to be somebody. So don't let them disrupt everyday life for us. And if you do that, if you allow them to think that they're really getting something, then we'll give you something. Now, it is said that between MLK and John Lewis was there as well, Ralph Abernathy and a couple other people, it is said that they got about $1.5 million between all of them to go back to their respective organizations and pretend that Black people are really going to move the ball. Of course, we know that in Happy, yes, we got civil rights acts here and there. But if you look at the civil rights acts now, who do they predominantly help? The Asians have used it. And as another organization, I think white people to use the one, the civil rights movement of 1866 or something. The first one that basically says you cannot be discriminated against in business. They've actually used those to their benefit, has not benefited Black people. So again, when we're on those couches, if that's what you're choosing to do or whatever, we need to be strategizing, because as we've been told many, many decades now, even over a century, Black people, we are about to be, if not already, out of time. And we sitting around here, as Neely Fuller Jr. talks about all the time, and he's up there in age. We as Black people are always celebrating, partying, and doing a bunch of nothing. We are not moving the ball. Even today, we are in these comment sections arguing over who is going to be the better master, because that's what they're going to be, Trump or Biden. And we're at each other's throats. You were this, you were that. If you don't vote for this, that, the other, blah, blah, blah. But none of that matters, because right now, Black people ain't got no power. All we got is the power of the thumbs, thumb thugging in comment sections. But after that election comes, we're going to really see, with all that arguing with each other, division and rap beefs and all this other stuff, what it really got us. And that's why, like I said, with Diddy, I think it's important that he gets his whatever he's got coming to him. But when I say or ask why now, and y'all ask why now, really think about that. Why did they, whoever this is, drop that tape or any of this other stuff, these rap beats and all this other nonsense that's got us distracted? Why now? Because they got our number. They know all it takes is to distract us with some low-hanging entertainment, and we off to the races.
Right, and then let me add this when it comes to Biden, and this is what really kills me. We should be outraged that Biden stood at Morehouse College, where the talented 10th of Black men supposedly graduate, and big ups to Martin Luther King. That was his alma mater. These are our best and our brightest that come from these HBCUs. And a man that has been so just against Black people for 60 years, or at least 50 in Congress himself, using the tools of government to keep Black people in a subservient and basically sharecropping position. If you guys listen to what he had said, and I would really strongly tell you guys to go back and listen to his speech. Biden talked about the George Floyd incident, what the government does against Black people, and all this, and how it's unfair to Black people and Black men, and how, unjust America has been against the Black people. Paraphrasing. He said that, right? But that's not the outrage, because we already know that. We all know that. The outrage is he's the president of the United States. He has the tools to fix some of the problems. He can't fix all of the problems, but he can fix some of the problems by executive order. Whatever he needs to do, he can push it through. It's almost like this. You're a homeless person, and you're sitting out there and you're hungry and you want shelter, right? I have a building that has all of that. It's a hotel. And I go to you and I say, this is your problem. And I tell you what's wrong with yourself, but I have everything that can solve your problems right in my building, but I won't invite you in. That is the insult. We should be insulted that this man could come into a Black HBCU college, which to me diminishes the college for the man to even be there, and tell us what we already know about what the government does to us and how we're treated in this country. And he would not even pick up his executive pen to do something about it. That is the outrage. It's just crazy.
Yes, indeed. And hello to everybody that came on in here. I'm going to go back to this comment here. Oh, you know what? Did I avenge the ancestors? Thank you so much for the donation. I love and appreciate you for that. And welcome. This comment here. Legacy tier strategies. How you doing? It says, well, violence in Black communities skyrocketed. So police. Yes. And so I think that's also one thing that we need to address. Yes, we want police, right? If something happens, you want to call the police, help, 911. But however, we want the police that the white folks get in Beverly Hills, River Oaks, or anywhere else where there's some oaks and some hills, right? We want the police and they get. I'm sorry, ma'am. What is the issue? We don't want the rock'em sock'ems that come in there and shoot and then ask questions later. And also, you have to wonder why violence in Black communities skyrocketing. How did that happen? Remember, once we got off the plantation, we had our own towns and all kind of stuff that was, flowing and doing everything they were supposed to be doing. And then, we get these civil rights and the Jim Crows and all this other stuff. Now, all of a sudden, you got it. And you're right, crime skyrocketing in Black communities. But why? Why is that? You think about any other Black community, probably all Black communities, everything is sucked out and dilapidated, right? There's no resources. And where there's not a lot of resources, you tend to have a lot of crime because people are going to start to resort to other things, in addition to some hands at work, if you will, within our communities. And other thing I don't think we understand too is, especially like with these city councils and stuff, like they have power to go into some of these communities and deduce the crime. In fact, they have a lot of power to do that. But I thought about it over the years, and I'm like, it's city-sanctioned genocide. They know these Black neighborhoods are riddled with crime, but they let that go on because it's like, if they do it, we don't have to do it, right? Well, it wasn't the police or, eugenics or anything like that. They did it themselves. So that's why I say it's city-sanctioned genocide, because they know what's going on. Anyway, let me get to some of these other comments. Yes, Donovan, you're right. I call it paramilitary. The police, right? Let's see. And again, welcome to everybody that came on here. I'm skip down just a little bit. Ashley, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. KP, how you doing? Says Diddy was Mr. Vote or Die. Yep, he sure was. Had a whole little campaign, didn't he? One who cares says Decolonization of the Mind. Yes, that was actually Brother Phil's book. I believe y'all can still get that on Amazon. It's a really good. Brother Abdul says, and what you're saying is very true. Malcolm X talked about this. Yeah. But again, like I said, Malcolm X turned 99. If he's still been here, he would have been 99. But people talk Malcolm. They do not walk Malcolm at all. They run around. Malcolm said this and Malcolm said that. Then they doing the total opposite, right? And Maine says Biden did not give anything to the Morehouse graduates. Yeah, he gave more lip service, right? But again, I would say the student body did try to push back, but the president of the college was like, we're not going to tell this good white man he can't come up in here. So he cared more about the Biden than he did them. Extreme X, how you doing? Says, yep, on Malcolm X's birthday as well. Hey, Corey, how you doing? Let's see who else came on here. And then one who cares says, you're absolutely correct. Donovan, he won't fix nothing. Nope. And M, how you doing? Says, I appreciate Demetri K because she speaks the solutions. Oh, well, thank you. And the Black America says, serious question, Ms. D. What kind of person or who, if you can by name, who would you want to be president? I see. For me, I don't want to say it's a loaded question, because I think whoever is president, they're going to have to do for us too, especially if they would like our vote. So at this moment, I mean, I don't know. I haven't even thought that far. I know some people say Cornel West. Cornel West is playing games. Okay. He ain't serious, So I don't know, because we also
Andrew
know
Yang?
I like Andrew Yang, but he's not running. And I know he wasn't for reparations, but damn it, he was giving out some form of, money that would have helped everybody. And Donovan and I, we were well versed on Andrew Yang, and I just, for the life of me, could not understand why people didn't, you had idiots, and yeah, I called them idiots, talking about where the money gonna come from when he's talking about his UBI program, Universal Basic Income, right? That was going to give $1,000 to $2,000 to every American 18 and over to, I think, the age 70 or something like that. And so it wasn't going to be taxable if you were still getting, let's say, government assistance or Social Security, whatever. That wasn't going to count against it. It was extra money for you to do whatever you wanted to do with it. He actually talked about what's going to happen to Black people as far as if AI, not if, right? Because we see AI is up and popping. What's going to happen there? So he spoke about the issues, and he also, because he says I'm a numbers guy, so he did the numbers, but he's not running, and I think it's a shame. So as Donovan said, somebody like that, because we think that if they black, then they gonna go in office and do black stuff. We voted Barack in there twice, and he ain't do nothing, absolutely nothing for black people, and bragged about it once he got out of office. So let's see who else came on here. Then let's see, Mama Poppins, how you doing? It says no disrespect to the experienced HBCUs, they are funded by them, so you get education they want you to have. Yeah, and funded and founded, right? Some of those HBCUs actually don the name of white people. So you're right.
I believe most of HBCUs are named after their white founders.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Andre, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Okay. Mindful moments. You say drugs and guns leaked into the community by alphabet agencies. Yep. Government. So you're talking about FBI, CIA, things like that. Let's see here. Black America says they are ran by the women. That's why there is more violence. Yeah, that may be true, but where are the men? Where are the men? Sister Shirley, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Beast by Dizzy, what's going on? Long time no see. Says we keep doing MLK. William, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Abdul, say, maybe it's time for us to stop putting on a trust in the system. I think you mean our trust in the system, and put our trust in ourselves and what we can do for ourselves. Yeah, as they say in the nation, right? Accept you on to be yourself. Marcus Garvey, up you mighty nation, accomplish what you will. We've been given those examples and those orders long time ago, but yet there's some in our community talking about, well, what's the blueprint? What's the black agenda? It's like there's a whole bunch of black agendas. It's just which one do you choose to follow? You can't keep asking what's the black agenda because there's so many of them. Hell, even Ice Cube put out the contract of Black America. So which one sound? And I would imagine, because I read it, it's a amalgamation, if you will, of all of them. So which one do we want to follow? And Peaceful Moon, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. William say Cornel West is aloof on reparations. Yeah, he really is all over the place, and I don't know. Maybe he's just trying to amass a war chest so he can pay off his debt. I don't know. And William says UBI is still around being talked about. See, those are things we need to be talking about. Albie says the game is way more complicated. It's not what they give, but also what they take. Absolutely. And Soli, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Miss Sweets, what's going on with you? Hope you're doing well this evening. GH, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. And let's see here. Mike, thank you so much for the donation. You say Biden also said America is doomed, Donovan. He said it when he was talking on that hot mic. These birth rates is going to get them. Yeah, ain't nobody really producing like they used to, right? Which is why you see, especially the Republicans legislating the way they are on reproductive rights, right? They're trying to force women to have babies whether they want them or not. And so
I'm not Republican. No, go ahead.
Well, but and of course we know they're not wanting abortion at all. So they realize that their numbers are dwindling. They know that. So that's why, they legislate the way they do. Corey says, don't forget the gender war. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. It's like, I'm in public relations, right? And one of the questions that we have to answer for our audience, and let's say the audience is asking this question, what's in it for me? What's in it for me to show up, to hear or see whatever it is, right? And so whenever we're participating in the division online or wherever you're participating in a division, you must stop even for a moment and say, what's in it for me? What do I get out of participating and going back and forth with people I don't even know, online, people I will never meet, right? What do I get to go back and forth with them? And then on the other hand, what do I lose? Time, energy, because I sat and argued 2, 3, 4 hours with a fool, and you may not have done it consecutively, but you've done it all day long. You go back to the comment section. Oh, yeah, you said this. Well, I'm going to say that. What did you get from that? Nothing. You wasted time. And that's why, too, you think about social media. Why do they have all these things on? You got AI everywhere, right? They want to keep you, and that's why Facebook started paying people to be what do you call it? Um content creators. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Content creators. And they will even remind you, you got to post. You haven't posted a while. Make a reel. Do this, do that. And it's like, the money ain't all that. But why are you really trying to keep people online all day? Because when we're online all day, what are we not seeing in real life? Yeah, so we really, let's see, electrical helper job wanted. How you doing? It says, why did the students attend Morehouse meeting and graduation if they knew Biden was going to be there? Yeah. If you're real gangster, you just don't go, right? But then your mom and daddy probably love Joe Biden. You better go. We paid all this money for you to be there. So I'm sure that had a lot to do with it.
You got to remember the HBCU, especially if you're in the fraternities and sororities. There's so much tradition and things to it that for 4 years you're brainwashed into this. Everything is black, 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 but then you get out in the real world and you find out that's not the case. It's so sad.
Yeah, Carter G. Woodson talked about that in Miseducation of the Negro. Says that our children go off and get these fancy degrees with whatever, right? And then they forget that they've been taught by white people, the white institutions, and how to get around in white life, right? So then, even especially back then, but even now, I would imagine you get those degrees and it's hard for you to get a job. But went off, and I'm not saying psychologists aren't important; they are, But he said you forgot about auto mechanics. How many of us can honestly say we know a black mechanic like we did back in the day, right? Like my dad is a mechanic, but he's up there in age. How many of us can say we know a black mechanic? How many of us can say, you know what? I need my house painted. Let me call Jerome, who was a brother, right? To come paint my house. A black plumber, a black laundromat or cleaners or grocery store, any of that kind of stuff. So the talented 10th, if you will, those who went out, got the degrees, they went and got degrees. But then when they come back to the black community, black people are like, I ain't trying to see no psychologists. Not that they didn't need to, but so then they were kind of just stuck in limbo. And Clarence Muse, I think that was his name, the older guy that played in Car Wash, he talked about that. He said, I was a lawyer, had a whole bunch of stuff that he could do, but white people wouldn't hire him. Black people couldn't afford to hire him. So he got on what they call the Chitlin Circuit. And that's how he became an actor. So it wasn't that he wasn't educated, he just couldn't make a living with his education. And we see that even still today. So, Malefactor, how you doing? He says, I'm late. No, you right on time, right on time. Soli says, we don't have to be divided. That's a choice. I totally agree with you. Ms. Sweet, she says, Biden lied about canceling all student loans, and Kamala Harris hasn't been seen since the last election. Now she's popping out everywhere. Yeah, it's showtime, Jump shot, how you doing? Oh, thank you. Yeah, average logical thinker, how you doing? It says, good evening, Demetri and Donovan and Maz and Chad. I think that's part of the problem. Too many black agendas when there should be one that will work for us all as unity in this country. Well, if you read the black agendas, they all are basically saying the same thing. None of them are really saying anything too differently. It might be worded differently, but they all say, yeah, we want our shmoney, we want our reparations, right? We want our reparations, we want our land, we want all that. But they're also saying there's stuff for us to do as well. That don't mean we just sit on our hands and wait for the government to give us our, reparations. There's things that we should be doing. We should building up our community, and everything in between. So I think, to me, if you ask me, they're all saying the same thing, just worded a little bit differently. But yeah. And Abdul says, I'm not worried about what's going on. Going to happen in America because I know what I'm going to do. All right. JJ says Trump might pick Mushmouth for VP. And which Mushmouth is that? Alonzo, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Black America says, I've been working on cars since I was 12. Believe it or not, I've been driving cars since I was about 11 or 12 because my dad was a mechanic. And when his assistant wasn't there, me or my siblings got behind those cars and he like, let's go. So that's how I learned how to drive, like no joke. It's also how I learned how to swim. My daddy just threw us in the pool. Um, and let's see, and Miss Sweet says facts. That's why I went to UW Madison. It helps me gain employment by being an alumni with white folks. Okay, Rodney, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Says I'm a mental health counselor. I get paid. Yeah, you do. But there's a lot of people who go off and get degrees, and maybe it's a little easier now, that aren't so fortunate, you know. So Obsidian, how you doing? Says Biden is going to make black people permanent underclass by weaponizing illegal immigrants against us. And guess who continuously votes for Biden to do that? It's black people, and I raise my hand. I'm, because I was a Democrat too back in the day. I'm not going to sit up here and lie to y'all. Say I was a Democrat too. But we, as black people, because we are their biggest block of voters, we vote for them to make that possible. So thinking about voting for Biden, he can't be in office again. I mean, voted again, in office. He might not even be here. I don't know. But what do you think he gonna do? He said to those so-called Negro leaders, the misleadership, y'all gonna have to learn how to get along with him. So Biden already knew what he was gonna do before he even got in office. When he was the president-elect, he already knew what he was gonna do. And he told Al Sharpton and all of them, hey, shut your mouth, okay? Big Daddy Biden is in the building, and y'all gonna do what I say do. They coming over here, but nobody knew to what degree, right? Because he just opened the floodgates and was like, be my guest. So that's already going on.
Well, I have a question for you real quick. We're pretty much at the bottom. If Biden does get reelected and for some reason he doesn't complete his term, do you think that Kamala Harris would do anything different than what the Democratic agenda is?
I think she gonna, hell no. I think Kamala gonna be a cold piece. Farrakhan warned us about Hillary Clinton. He says she's an evil woman. So you think that anybody that's been in office to date is evil? Oh, Hillary was gonna be a doozy. And I think that's kind of why black people rejected her. Of course, Michelle Obama was mad at us because we didn't show up to the polls for Hillary like we did her husband, but I think she would be even worse because she's got something to prove. She gonna want to let everybody know, and she being Kamala, I'm not soft, and we know who she loved because we see who she go to bed with every night. So to think, and she said, I'm not gonna do anything just for black people, no. So she didn't even bite her tongue, stutter, none of that stuff when she said it. So I think Kamala would be worse. The average logical thinker says, and that's my point, if they're all saying the same thing, shouldn't be hard to come together to make a powerhouse, in my opinion. Just my opinion. Of course, no, I totally agree with you. But then we have people running around where ain't no black agenda. Well, we're waiting. Like, now, for me, just me personally, this may be mean. I don't mean to be. But if you don't know, now you at your average logical thinker, I'm saying in general, you don't know that there is a black agenda somewhere, you don't need to be going to vote or speak for us to nothing until you learn what there is to learn. Because if you still went around here talking about where's the black agenda, you ain't paying attention.
Yeah, and I just want to add this. Survival, self-survival is a basic instinct of any human being. And if this man gets back into office, I'm speaking specifically about Biden, we will have to come together. I mean, you would have no choice at that point. All you single moms out there are going to be running to your uncles, and you're going to go get the covering of a man. And all you single men out there, you're going to go get the covering of a woman, and we're going to come together because it's do or die at that point. It's going to be do or die at that point. It's either we're going to stand as men and women, or we're going to die on our knees. It's just as simple as that. And that's going to be the deciding factor, because guess what? When it comes to that, do you think the Asians are going to come and help us? Do you think the Hispanics are going to come to help us? No, those two groups specifically identify as honorary white. We are out here on our own. A third of all Black wealth was taken in 2008 under the Obama administration. We just went through a pandemic that wiped out Black mom and pop stores. I mean, we are in bad shape, you guys. And I know nobody wants to hear this, But just like Shirley just is saying in the comments, because she's an older lady that has some sense about her and educated and all that other good stuff. We love to pat ourselves on the back, talking about, oh yeah, we're doing so well, we're doing great, whatever. If we're doing so well and so great, why are we worried about the immigrants? Why are we worried about them if we're doing so great? Why is it that when they build and they gentrify our neighborhoods, we can't keep them out? Because if we owned everything in our neighborhood, everything was black in our neighborhood, we wouldn't have to worry about gentrification. But we keep patting ourselves on the back, delusional, talking about, oh, we doing just as good as them. We can do as good. Come on, y'all. Y'all got to be real about it. How many of y'all own homes out there? How many of you guys aren't in debt? How many of you, see, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to what you got in your bank account. If you're out here struggling at 55, 60 years old and dependent on a second job to pay off your mortgage and all your bills and all this other stuff at 55, 60 years old, you're in trouble. You're in trouble at that point. You are in trouble. You can say everything you want to say. I have friends, and I'm just going to say this, and this is the truth. I'm living in California. I have friends who actually think because they are almost $1 million in debt, they're worth $1 million. That's how delusional we have gotten. But self-preservation, we are going to have to come together because those other groups aren't going to stand with us. They haven't been doing it. We just have been asking them to speak out, and they won't even do that.
Absolutely. And so Black America says, where can I find the Black Agenda to read? So you can get any Final Call newspaper. Of course, that's of the Nation of Islam. And on the back, they always include that in there, what the Muslim wants. But it's not just for the Muslim. It's for Black men and women in America. So they have an outline, and that has never changed. But if you want a little bit more detail, you could go and order a Message to the Black Man in America. You can go to NOI.org and you can order that. I even think they have it on Amazon. An Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It is basically the blueprint for Black men and women in America. It's a must read. Okay. Then, of course, there's a copious amount of books on that of the Honorable Marcus Garvey. And he was trying to get Black men, and not even trying. They said they had about 3 to 6 million Black people on board to go to Liberia. But his mantra was "Up, ye mighty nation, accomplish what you will." So he built a whole lot of things. This not cruise ships, but steam ships. So we could do businesses, warehouses, printing presses, you name it, UNIA. Of course, we know what happened with that. One of us was used. In fact, it was the first FBI agent, Agent 800, that helped take down Marcus Garvey and UNIA. So there's Marcus Garvey was probably the forefather, the first, to do it. And then, of course, you have, that's the wrong book. I meant to grab The Miseducation of the Negro. Carter G. Woodson was telling us what to do to not become a permanent underclass. I had Powernomics, but I gave it to my dad. But that was Dr. Claude Anderson, who talked about group economics, right? Things that we should be doing. So all of those are Black agendas, and they're all pretty much saying the same thing. As I said, Ice Cube, Contract Black America, that's the one you could go Google and you can read that one. And if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me, he did consult with that of Dr. Claude Anderson and a whole bunch of other Black economists. So there's Black agendas everywhere. So I hope that helps. Let's see here. All right, let me go back. Sorry that I'm behind in the comments. Ooh, I just got hot. Lady Diana, how you doing? Since the Black agenda is a quiet agenda that can't be shared or spoken too loudly. Example, the Black Panther Party for Defense. Yeah, and they were probably one of the most Nation of Islam. They have their thing, the nation, right? Hence the word nation. But the Black Panther Party, yeah, they were actually putting that in use too. They were doing the work, working the Black agenda. So, but right, we see what happened with them as well. So you're absolutely right. Abdullah Anderson, how you doing? You say around
Looks like Demetra's side has frozen up. I am now going to take over. Now let's talk about what's wrong with you black women. No, I'm joking. I'm trying to lighten the atmosphere up a little bit. But no, we have to be really serious and look at the reality of what's going to happen if either of these two people get into it. Lesser of two evils, I would say, would be Trump. If you look at Trump's legislative thing, he's only been in politics probably 15 years. And he's done less damage to the black community. I'm not saying he would be a better choice. However, right now at 26% of losing black votes from 2000, it doesn't look like Biden is going to be back in office. I mean, it's going to be a major blowout if you look at the numbers. I mean, this man legitimately sat there after being in office for almost 4 years. When he was asked about the economy, he refused to take any responsibility for you not being able to put gas in your car, jobs not being done, the minimum wage disaster for fast food workers. That's a disaster here in California. Average gas is almost $6 a gallon. So this man refuses to take responsibility. And I think he's either totally confused because who's controlling this man? Who is controlling this man? And for the Democrats, once again, this goes to show you guys how much white supremacy is in cahoots with each other. I don't think the Democrats care if they win or lose. I don't think they care because it's the same party. They know Joe Biden and what is going on. Losing the black vote is not going to get them a second term. Right now, we're less than 6 months out. So let me go to you guys' comments and try to catch the comments up a little bit and get back to that. I'm going to start from here from Shirley. Shirley says, I'm fortunate to have owned my own apartment. Otherwise, I would not have been able to retire. Exactly. We have to start talking about ownership. When Big Mama or Papa dies, we got to stop selling the property. Make it rental property so you could have residual income. The first thing that happens after being raised in that home, Big Mama and Papa spent 40 years, 50 years in that home. The minute they go away and join the ancestors, we immediately sell that property. And guess who we're selling it to? The Latinos or the Asians. In California, the biggest landlord group is the Asian community. In California, Asians are more likely to be the landlords than they are the renters. But the Hispanics, they will come in there and buy up whole blocks with their families doing that. Where are the black folks? Who knows? So Demetra's back. Demetra, I'm at Shirley's comment. I'm fortunate to have owned my apartment. Otherwise, I would not have been able to retire.
Yeah, sorry about that. My power just glitched and went boop, and then go all the way go off, but you know the internet kicks off. So
don't worry, I held it down and was talking about what is wrong with you black women.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding. No, I know you wasn't.
No. That little glitch that you had reminded me of Boomerang. Remember when what's his name took over?
Yes. Right. Strong
They gave me an opportunity to run the show.
Hey Eddie, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. So sorry about that. Okay, he said so. Shirley's comment. Okay. Yvette, how you doing? Let me just acknowledge. Arniba, did I say hello to you? If I didn't, hello. Who else is on here? Then I'm just go all the way to the bottom so I could catch up. Sorry about that. Hopefully it doesn't happen again because it's super hot here. So I guess everybody's using their electricity, and we just got electricity, so hopefully it doesn't go off. Miss S, how you doing? He says there are no lesser two evils in America. They all serve the system of white supremacy. You better believe it. All right. Mr. Ancestor says you're absolutely right, Brother Don. It's time to put up or shut up. Yes, indeed. And Sister Shirley, you say, and Marcella, how you doing? You say, I believe our people are broken and don't really understand what's going on. Nah, we just go along to get along. Number one, how you doing? Says I agree. Dems don't care about losing the black vote. And Joey, how you doing? Says oh, you're here is what you're saying. King Vincent, he says, Demetra, do you know the DDPA document? Does not sound familiar to me. If you want to give me a synopsis of what it is, then I could tell you if I am familiar with it or not. Obsidian says also, with more Black people homeless, this will be a feeding ground for the government to experiment on, because we will have no protection or power against the government, and we don't have any now, right? And Marcella says, Dimitri, you need to come back to California. So I keep hearing that last week made a believer out of me. That weather we had, scary. I'm telling you, scary. There's still over 100,000 people without electricity, and it is hot. Not only is it hot, it is humid. And again, you live here in Houston, you can't just open a window and get a breeze because it's just hot. You're just going to be letting in more hot air. So, my God. But I'm California dreaming every day. You can believe that. William says, neither party is making us a welcome addition. So just enact the agenda. Right. What are we waiting on? It's going to be harder to do it when, they legislate more and more against us. We're the only group of people that don't have anything specifically for us. We get the All Lives Matter bill, whatever that is, right? But we don't have anything specifically for us, whether it's protection, it's money, it's anything, nothing.
Well, let's look at it from a pragmatic standpoint. When you're at the bottom, there's not much really they can do to you at that point. You're at the bottom. Only way is up. So, again, as we lose everything and people just stand by and let it happen, our Black leaders, our Black serviceship, we got to stop calling them leaders. They're not leaders. They are servants and representatives. We got to start holding them accountable. But because we are at the bottom, how much farther can we fall? I'm sure we can fall a lot farther, but the point is, other groups have more to lose than we do at this point.
We don't have much, one thing Black folks can do is we can argue to the bitter end about nothing, something that has nothing to do with us. We gonna die on that hill of being right. You this, and the other thing too is we gonna tell everybody else how to run their house and they man, they woman, whatever. And it's like you ain't told yourself what to do lately, but you got advice for everybody else, right? So, and Obsidian says one Black human body is worth over $1 million alone, and that's just the melanin alone. So I've heard. Let's see. Here we go back here in Salam Allah alternative channel. How you doing? It says in Los Angeles County we are the homeless. Yep. Yes. In America we are the homeless. Yeah, there's other people that are homeless, but it's predominantly us. So there you have it. Let's see. William would say, I agree, but we would also suffer immensely when they commit crimes against us, which they frequently do. Yeah. I got saying that documentary I just watched on Netflix called Power, talking about the police. They get more and more power. It seems like every administration that goes into the White House, they get more and more power. And that power is usually adverse to us. You don't have a say-so at all. Judge, jury, and executioner is what the police are. And in fact, as I said earlier, it said that they are the most powerful thing or people in the United States of America. They could change your life or take it within a matter of seconds and get off, because they said most things that the police do to people is legal.
Right. And here's the thing. You're talking about the weaponization of the police department, the weaponization of the police department. Under Trump, they stopped these police departments, local police departments, from receiving military weapons and equipment. Under Biden, that thing was reversed. So those trucks and those tanks, and so remember LA, the Batarang? That was a military vehicle that they used to go into drug houses.
Batarang.
Who was the artist? Name the artist. Name the artist. Name the artist.
I don't know.
Toddy T. Toddy T. Toddy T.
See, I'm good with lyrics and not lyrics. I'm good with hooks. I'm really good with hooks, but everything else, not as much. Marcella said, Donovan, you are here in California. You have noticed the gas prices are going down. It's only because of the election in November. Right after the election, they will go up again. Another thing too is, I don't know if y'all seen a report that on Target, they said that they're starting to drop prices for the summer because they realize that the consumer is just like, yeah, no. In fact, they said more and more people are going to Walmart than any other store because that's where people can afford to shop. And as I said the other day, I was in Walmart. I hadn't gone in a long time. I was like, you know what? I got to get some other things. So I'll go to Walmart, and I saw white people in there. Now, when I say I saw white people in there, I'm not talking about the white people, the white people. I'm talking about the white people that look like they may have had a bath, in the last 2 or 3 days. You know, like they probably own some an estate somewhere. I've seen those type of white people in there, not the ones that's probably crawling up out of a trailer park. And I was like, well,
The
that's
ones you
odd.
see at Lowe's and
Yeah,
Home Depot, well, not
yeah,
Home Depot, but
yeah,
Lowe's and stuff like
yeah.
what's that one? Home,
Home
what's
Depot.
that store? Home, whatever. It's like
Oh,
a,
Home Goods.
yeah, Home
Yeah,
Goods.
yeah, yeah,
It's like,
yeah, yeah. I saw that ilk of white people up in there, the kind that look like they might wash their legs. And I said, what's really going on here? So when I read that report a couple of weeks ago, I said, okay, this is what they're talking about. Those people are now shopping in Walmart. And they said predominantly for groceries because this inflation is affecting everybody's bank account, regardless of how much you have in there. People are saying, okay, wait a minute, Target, I like the atmosphere, but y'all price point is just a little too high for my budget right now. So Target is saying they're going to drop some of their prices.
And if you don't have the Target debit card, that'll take 5% off your purchase. So I don't know if that helps, but
right. And Brother Salami says, boycott all sports, entertainment, show business. Now, that would be so ideal, but you know us. One thing we gonna do is be entertained. In the nation, they say, they get us with sport and play. That's what we're Black people. We are good at sport and play. Whether it's on the TV, it's on the field, or wherever. That's what we gonna do, right? So I agree with you though. So let's see here. Let me skip down a little bit. It's funny when I glitched off, I just sat here. I was like, I'm just gonna wait for the internet to come on. Maybe I should just let Donovan finish the show. Then I said, am I crazy? All right, King Busy, he says DDPA is from the units about reparations. Okay, that's still kind of esoteric to me. If you want to give me maybe a little bit more detail, or is it supposed to be esoteric? And Amy says, at what point will FBA's B1s, ADOS, etc., pull its own Band-Aid off? At this point, it's so old. Yeah, we want the money, but we got to figure out how to keep the money we got. That's what every other community does, right? William says, by that I mean, when we ask for something, we need a way to punish politicians when we are betrayed. Yeah, and that's what Dr. Claude Anderson said. We need to hold them contractually accountable for what they say they're going to go and do, right? If we vote for them, all right, sign this contract or whatever. We want to hold you accountable to where you just don't get up there and give us lip service by lying. So, yeah, Miss Weesha says police is the most powerful gang. Yeah, you're right. And like I said, it's legal. Most of the time, it's legal, the stuff that they do to people.
Yeah, and you got to remember, the police are sovereign citizens. They are sovereign citizens.
Alonzo said, we have the opportunity when that white supremacists unalive George Floyd. We allowed too many others to intervene. We didn't ask for nothing. Emotions, energy, and motion. I love me some us, and I saw our power. Yeah, but then we let Kente Claus and old, very geriatric, Congress people get on one knee and tell us, we gonna get it from here. Don't you worry, we got it. And we ain't heard from them old suckers since. Black America says you can move to Vegas. We always have power, no disasters, and it's cheap. You know what? You're right about that. Sometimes y'all do have a little floods going on.
Yeah, they have the monsoon floods, yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, not all the time, right? So yes, indeed. Sister Shirley says, we are the bottom low. There is nowhere for us to go but up. Yeah, but when we gonna do that, right? And Miss Sweet says, name the artist's new show. And I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. Hey, Thunder.
That's when I named Toddy T. Remember I asked you, name the artist?
Oh, God. Name that artist. Yeah, I would lose probably every time, Hey, Thunder, how you doing? I hope you're staying cool in this hot weather. Abdul says, leaving the country song. It sounds like a good idea to me, and I ain't mad at you. Matter of fact, I wish you the best. Okay, let's see. Obsidian, he says, that also reminds me of when we're gonna do stop spies and sellouts from being used against us, because it would be a waste to come together just to get Black Wall Street again. Yeah. And that's the other thing they talked about in that documentary, as far as there's always been sellouts in our community that call themselves Black leaders. They've always, always, always sold Black people out. Always, always. And they still do. And yet we are still foolish enough to listen to them. I think are starting to wake up now. Al Sharpton and the people like him, they're not as relevant as they used to be in our community, where they could get to a podium and we listen. Now we're like, man, shut your relaxer having self up, because we just don't care no more, because we've seen what they do. They grease their palms and they leave the rest of us, dry.
Well, another reason for that is that's the civil rights generation era people. And like Brother Phil says, and you've said, and a lot of people have said in other platforms, is their voting base is going to the upper room every day. They're just losing that power of numbers, because if you combine every generation behind the baby boomers, we're the majority. You add us with the other kids and stuff like that, but their group is kind of going away, and it is what it is.
Yep. Mindful Moment says, at this point, the farmer's market is on par, even cheaper than the grocery store, especially if you shop there frequent enough. I shop there than the grocery store. I need to find me a good farmer's market that's not terribly far from me, because I love farmer's markets. One thing about being in California, they're everywhere, right? Wherever you go, there's a farmer's market. I've been to one here, and they just kind of all had the same thing. I did get a seedless watermelon, and it was nasty. I was like, spent all that money for a nasty seedless watermelon. It was not sweet at all.
Some of us, we need to go back and just start planting our own vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. It's a lot cheaper, and you're going to get a whole bunch of stuff every year. When my oranges and apples come in, I have bushels of it, and I got to give it away. I can't. There's no way I can eat all that. But if I had to go buy that in the market today, I'm looking at $4 for a $3 bag or 3-pound bag.
Mm-hmm. And my sisters, how you doing? Says, I stopped eating out because of inflation with food prices. Yeah. Even McDonald's, your average logical thinker, I don't know if you saw that, but McDonald's is also saying that they're going to introduce a $5 meal deal, because I guess they maybe got done away with their dollar menu. If what I understand, I haven't eaten at McDonald's in forever. But they're feeling it because customers are like, man, I'm not going to pay y'all a whole half a check to eat at McDonald's. McDonald's is supposed to be the go-to spot where you can get some cheap for the whole family. But I'm hearing people saying they're spending like $50 for like 4 people. And like, what the hell y'all ordering from McDonald's?
And again, that's going to force a lot of people, men and women, to start cooking at home. Get back to the basics. And, and it's really funny, you guys. A lot of people will tell you, I'm very good with my money. Okay, I can't talk about any other people, but with my money, I'm very good. Demetria will tell you, I'm very good with my money, unless I'm overseas and I'm spending it like a sailor. But I'm very good with my money. But I remember, I'm one of those people, I will use a coupon. Demetria, how many times did we go to, what's that salad place?
We've gone everywhere with a coupon. With Donovan.
Yeah, with a coupon. I'm like, hey, no shame in my game.
I think that's savvy. I don't understand the life of me for women who are mad at a man for using the coupon or his military discount, all that other stuff. I'm like, do you? Saving money is a great thing. Who wants you to go spend you got a coupon and you too scared to whip it out because she gonna be.
But yeah. I can't tell you, a lot of my friends that are now coming to me asking me, what is it that I do to help cut corners? And I tell them, start pulling out those coupons. I mean, that makes a big difference. If I can go to Yoshinoya or Carl's Jr., Hardee's, from some of you guys that are in the East, and I can get the same meal for one person and get 2 of them for one, I'm going to do that.
Right. Yes, Thunder, I am getting a generator. I've been looking different price ranges, so I need to find out the one that's going to be, it's suitable for my pockets and suitable for what I need. Because it's just better to have one, right? I think I've been made a believer. Miss Sweet says that laugh is diabolical, Donovan. Let's see, God we trust, all others eat bagels. Says we need to learn to shop Black. Yep. And then we can create more Black stores, right? Sister Shirley says the one thing that annoys me about the Democratic Party, they don't even use intelligent people. So disrespectful towards Blacks and ADOS people. Oh, absolutely. You in God we trust. You said MLK the third should endorse Trump. Nah, he eating too good, too greedy on the Democratic plantation. And I'm not even trying to be mean. William says Klaus Schwab. He says will resign from WEF executive role. Okay. And sorry, I don't know who that is. And M says I don't say anything about. Okay, so you're talking to Arnie. Okay, and Black Pinoy, how you doing? It says 5 billionaires bought America in 1927. These true owners hate Black people, and that's why our president disrespects us. They only taking orders. Black people, we are in trouble. Don't trust them. I totally agree with you. King says via the UN, we got a decade that ends December 2024, the 31st. Well, we sure gonna see, right? And I'm not saying that we don't, but we'll see. And Marcella says we must do things to save money. Fill your car with gas these days. Monday night through Thursday night over the weekend is when the prices is high. Grow your own food, cook it home. Yeah, you got to cook it home. I mean, even now every once in a while it's cool to catch a break or whatever, but it adds up. It really does. And then you're like, damn, I spent all that money and I could have went to the store.
Yeah, but Demetra, back in our day, eating out was a treat or a reward. You know, you mostly, isn't it funny how now in the modern age everybody eats out versus it's almost a treat when you can get a home cooked meal as a man. Seriously, I mean, the way I look at it, it's like it's been reversed. So now everybody has to unlearn what they've learned. That's where your big mamas need to come out and start teaching those recipes. Yeah, they had. I can say this about my mom. She had a recipe thing where she kept all the recipes, but you know, she just archived that because everything was up here. We got to get back to the basics. You know, we really do.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. We do have to get back to that. Learning to cook, cooking at home, enjoying how to cook at home or whatever the case is. I know I get it if you're single. It's like I can eat out. It ain't going to kill me, you know, opposed to buying for a family or whatever the case is. But it's not healthy either. As I said, I got that app Yucca. And man, there's just a lot of things I'm not going to be doing no more. Even things that I thought were healthy. And I'm actually thinking about vlogging about it. Because I'm trying to go back being vegan. I'm really close to doing that. But as I'm doing that, some of the stuff that I'm looking at on this app, the Yucca app that tells you what's in it, I'm like, how the hell y'all calling that, you know, follow your heart or good for your heart or organic or this, that, and the other? You got them kind of chemicals in there. There ought to be a law. But they know most people won't look. They'll just go off of, oh, it's vegan or it's organic, so it must be better for me. And in fact, it's not. You'd be better off eating meat in regards to some of those vegan products. So,
Demetra, wouldn't it just be simpler to go move to Japan where the portions are smaller?
Yeah. And that's the other thing too. Over here, we greedy as hell. Okay. We don't know how to eat smaller portions. We eating portions for 2 and 3, 4, 15 people at a time. So yeah.
And that app, everything was rated in my cabinet poor or less. I was flabbergasted. I was flabbergasted.
He's like, yikes. So then when we understand that, the stuff that we're eating, then we kind of understand why we might be having some ailments, you know, because it's like, oh, damn, I'm putting that in my body. I can't even pronounce that.
Yeah, my glory greens, can't do it no more.
Oh, no, brother, you didn't even need to test those to tell. I could have told you they was bad for you, okay? Marcella says they only doing the $5 meal for a month in certain areas, not California. See, there you go. They trying to get people up in there. See, I'm the type of person walk up in there and look for a $5 meal. They talking about we don't have it at this location. All right, bet. Let's go. I'll leave up out of there. Yeah, logical thinker said they tried to charge me $1.69 for one white potato the other day. I said, put that back. Right. You used to be able to get a bag of potatoes for that, but that's crazy. Black Americans
I'm gonna have to go back to peanut butter sandwiches. At least it's good in protein and stuff, you know.
Yeah, and you know that the Yucca app will tell you which peanut butters are better for you, and jellies and bread too. Black America says we get 3 to 7 inches of rain a year. Only the people who live in the storm drains have problems. I saw those hotels that was flooded. It was like 2 years ago, last year, something like that. I saw it myself. Okay, so let's see. Let me skip down. Miss S, you say, survival in this country demands we learn how to homestead. We are at a disadvantage because we depend on others for everything, especially our foods. Grow your food. Learn canning and dehydrating. Yes, And I have a dehydrator too. It just seems like it takes forever to dehydrate. I might need another different one that's more state of the art. But yeah, definitely canning. I'll tell you what, when this power outage happened a couple of days or last week, so my whole refrigerator went bad. I don't normally keep a lot of stuff in my refrigerator, but everything went bad. The freezer went bad, but I still could have survived off of the dry goods and stuff that I had, like the canned stuff. It's like, well, we can still eat. We still got plenty of stuff. So, yeah, we're gonna have to learn how to do those things though. And King Vincent, he says, Demetra, I will send you info about the DDPA and the decade the UN gave us that ends on December 31st, 2024. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's see. And I saw somebody say, why don't I start a farmer's market? That'd be a great idea. My daughter and I actually have talked about that for years, finding a lot or whatever and just starting a farmer's market. So, yeah, I agree with you. And Obsidian says, also, we need to ask, why is China buying all the farmland in America too? It's probably because it's for sale, right? And plus, especially the black farmers who are going out of business because they're not getting the government subsidies that the other farmers are getting. The land is for sale and they're selling it to them.
Real quick, how many of you guys realize that we've been in a recession since 2019, since the pandemic hit? We have not come out of it. The reason, and they're doing accounting tricks. The reason why it is not a recession per se is because they're sending money to Ukraine and Israel, which is pumping the economy. But if you take that money away out of the economy and out of the equation, we are in a recession, and we've been in a recession for at least 6 years. But they don't want to say that, and that's a fact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll probably get a solar one because I don't like messing around with gasoline and propane tanks and all that too much. So yeah, but I'm definitely looking at some solar ones. Because like I said, yeah, that's the pits. It's too hot to be doing all of that. Abdul says, and you're right, you're the majority. What you're gonna do to change the situation you got going on in America? Okay, so let me skip down a little bit here. Marcella says, come back to me home, Demetra. Move to Sacramento. We rarely have earthquakes. In the ones that we have, you can barely feel it. Yeah, maybe not Sacramento, but I know up north they have some doozies. Yeah, I never thought about living in Northern California. My daughter went to school in Sacramento. San Francisco. Southern California my whole life. I would move up north for the weather. It's a lot cooler than it is in the south of California, but ain't nothing like Southern California. I'll tell you that. Nothing like it. In God We Trust, it says FDA signs off on the poisons, and blacks trust the FDA. Yeah, y'all got to start looking at what's in your food because, man. And like you said, the United States government allows it. Other countries, they're like, are you crazy? You ain't putting no rat poison up in the food or whatever it is, right? Mindful moments, you say, I cook 95 to 100% of my meals for the last 10 years because I had to, went plant-based. I had no choice, healthier in every way, physically, mentally, financially. Cooking from scratch is key. Yeah, and talk about plant-based, being vegan, not the new age vegan. I was vegan in 2014 all the way to like 2021, 22. And when I started, it wasn't all these fabricated vegan foods, if you will, by these corporations. You really have to get it out the mud yourself, right? I was a lot healthier too. So that's what I'm actually going back to is being plant-based. And I was much healthier as well, I would say. Mission Vision, how you doing? And Tara Toy, how you doing? Says inflation is turning into hyperinflation now. Yeah, but they won't ever use any of those terms, right? William says summer sausage is a norm for me. So you make it yourself. Okay, let's see. Alonzo says family is it's very late in the evening for FBA here in America. Would someone please start a support group with emphasis on us? Hell, show me how. So we say a support group, like which kind of support group? Okay, so WEF, World Economic Forum. Got you. Okay, I'm behind. Thunder says for $40 you can grow sweet potatoes and indefinitely soil sweet potatoes, slips, and large wash tubs. And that's it. Also, you can eat the sweet potato vines. That's good to know. Good to know. Obsidian says part of the money being sent to Ukraine is being used for trafficking humans. Okay. Uh, Joey says, I'm getting ready to purchase a generator for about a couple of $1,000 down here in Florida, and the lights will be turned off. Okay, so you're going to turn them off altogether and just use your generator? Yeah, Miss Sweets, it never rains in Southern California. Yeah, right. Uh, they've been having some floods too. Okay. So let's see. Did I get at the bottom? We're only an hour and a half in. It feels like we've been here for probably because we did the other show earlier. So what else y'all want to talk about for the next couple of minutes? I said I was gonna start getting off here a little early so I can exercise in the evening. I can start doing my 2-a-days, exercising twice a day. Now it feels like if I can just do it once, I'll be all right. But two, enraged Pinky Toe, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. So what else is out there? What do we want to talk about, you guys, for the next couple of minutes, or are we just done? Are we done here? I'll wait a second, see if anybody throws anything in the comment section. Joey said you was referring to the storms that go on in Florida. Yeah, my sister's in Florida, and we sent her the footage of what was going on. She goes, "Oh, that's all the time here." I'm like, no, I don't know if it's to that degree. I saw somebody make a post, and it says, it said, Houston, what did it say? Houston, Alizé Marie, Texas. You showed your, last week. I said, not them naming it Houston, Alizé Marie, Texas. And yeah, they're still recovering. It's just driving through, every neighborhood is just jacked up for the most part. Trees, I was driving yesterday and I thought I was going to clear this branch. There was these branches hanging down, I guess, from the storm. And I was like, okay, I'm going to clear it. I didn't clear it. And it just went all the way across my car. Luckily, it didn't scratch my car and break my window. But I was like, damn, it's crazy. So let's see here. And Marcella says, girl, you could be sitting there doing chair exercise while you talk to us. Yeah, I can't walk and chew bubblegum like that because I'd be moving my leg, forgetting my train of thought, or lifting weights. Yeah, I sweat a lot when I work out. So Black America, I see talking to me, Sweets. Okay, Maya, it says, did you cover the failed coup in DRC? I didn't cover it because I saw it. I had not read on it yet, but I heard it had something to do with America. So that's why I said I hadn't studied it just yet, but we have not covered that. But I do mean to read up on it within the next couple of days. Thunder says, what do you think would have made that storm blackout more tolerable or comfortable for you? Lights. Electricity. No, you know what? Even that wasn't bad. And it's funny because I was talking to my daughter even when the lights were off. And it wasn't hot that particular day. And I said, what's so crazy is this doesn't bother me because I grew up in a time where TV went off, right? We didn't have all these amenities. We read books. And my daughter, I think she read like 2 or 3 books in the time that the electricity was out. I tried to, I just couldn't because I had so much on my mind. I couldn't read. But I said we learned how to entertain ourselves without watching TV. My daughter's not a big TV watcher either, but there was other things that we could do, like be productive. And like I said, Sunday I was so tired because I was just on my feet the whole time, just finding stuff to do because I couldn't work because my internet and everything was down. So I was just moving around, cleaning the kitchen 400,000 times and just a bunch of stuff. But what would have made it better for me, I think, is for me just knowing when exactly we were going to get electricity, then I could have been like, oh, okay, we're going to get it on this date. But just the not knowing when we're going to get it, that was kind of nerve-wracking for me. But the storm itself, it was scary. I'm never going to sit up here in front and say, oh, it was no big deal. It was pretty scary to see that and then to learn of the destruction. In downtown Houston, they still have it closed because they said they don't know if windows are going to continue to fall. Hundreds of windows in those high-rise buildings and stuff fell, so there's glass everywhere. So they said because you've been downtown, right? And they have so many high-rises and things like that with all those windows. How do they know which windows are stable? So I guess they have to go through each one of those buildings to see which ones are stable. So it's dangerous. They got the schools closed still because there's still no electricity in some places. It's a lot still. The recovery process is still ongoing. So I feel very blessed that I do have electricity. I thought about going to get a hotel, but then I thought, well, there's probably a lot of the people in the hotels. But then the other side of me says, you know what? You can endure the heat if you don't have electricity, but there's some people who are sick, and they may need that air conditioning. So I felt like it would be selfish of me to go, in a hotel or somewhere, Airbnb, and tough it out when there's other people who probably really needed that space. So,
wait a minute. If Ted Cruz can go and leave his dog to go,
oh, I was going to leave if it was, if like I said, I couldn't because I didn't know when we were going to get lights. So I was like, damn, if I leave out of here and then it come on while I'm in the air, I'm going to be mad. So that's kind of why I just stayed. And I was like, well, it's not too bad. So then it got hot on Saturday. And then we went to the mall. And then I got the notification that the lights were on. I was like, thank God. I literally was like, thank you, God. Like, for real, for real. If I ain't thanked you like lately, I thank you now. And our neighbor says a Biden win would produce a great show headed by MGT and the ones who say they will go to war. Go to war. We already there, right? Ms. Weesha says, is FEMA covering the damage in Houston? I know Biden has sent some federal help. Which kind, I don't know. I know FEMA's kind of independent. Usually they do. I haven't heard anything about it at all. From what I understand, usually they'll try to help people who lost their refrigerators as far as their food and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know.
But I have a question for you guys, and I want you guys to think about this. What if Biden does lose the election and he calls it what Trump called it? It was unfair, whatever the deal is, and he contests the election. What do you guys think of the reality of that actually happening?
So for Biden or Trump, you said contesting?
Biden. Either one, Biden or Trump. If Trump doesn't win, there's going to be an issue. If Biden doesn't win and he contests it, right? How could I lose? I had all the black people voting for me, and there's some kind of thing going on. What do you think would happen?
I mean, probably what we saw on January 6th or whatever. Either way, it's of no consequence to us. I mean, we can't keep sitting on our hands. We got to do something because one of those suckers is going to be in the White House.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. It's getting so bad. Our politics are getting so bad, or at least the white politics are getting so bad that they could both contest the elections and just keep everybody distracted from government, basic government, and helping black people and just keeping this country rolling. It's just it's a possibility. It's a possibility at any time.
Yeah. And Maya, you said that to return to high-priced food conversation, what recipe did you learn to cook at home because it's too expensive to eat out? Mine is Indian curry chicken. Honestly, any and everything. I'm not a recipe person per se. I can follow a recipe. My daughter's the recipe person. I tell you, that girl, she can burn. Just by any and everything. All she needs is the recipe, whether it's a YouTube video or she Googles it, and she'll make it to the T. So just about anything. I think that I can. If I can't do it, my daughter will do it. And in fact, sometimes I really like eating at home better because it's like you can have leftovers and stuff like that. And then you know what's going in your food when you eat out. They're putting all kind of stuff in there to make it taste good, but that don't mean it's good for you, right? Alonzo says, Demetria, how bad could it be sitting with you in the dark? And my daughter said I was driving her crazy. And when it got dark, we just went to bed, went to our rooms. I lit a candle. Of course, we have phone chargers and that kind of stuff. So we could charge our phones and all of that. But we just went to bed, But my daughter's like, you're getting on my nerves. Sit down. So it probably could be pretty annoying. And Steven, how you doing? He says he's not going to do that. It's not in him to think like that. And Arniva says zero chance Biden would do that.
But see, you guys keep saying Biden, Biden. Have you guys seen this guy? It's almost elder abuse. He is not in his cognitive state. There is somebody else controlling this man. I mean, how can you sit there and actually, when the man talks, he actually has to stop and pause for an extended amount of time just to say something that should be normal to say. I mean, and that should question you guys is, we talk about elder abuse and all these things that, things that shouldn't happen. Do you guys really want to vote, Democrat or Republican, I don't care who it is, for a person that is in cognitive decline and has been there for almost 3 years?
Absolutely. JB1, how you doing? Says I made it. Good evening. Yes, you did. You made it. Alonzo, you say exactly. M says little women's out here as your TT cook that man some food. Yeah. Ooh, y'all don't want to get me started. I just, y'all don't want to get me started. A lot of these men don't want to eat. They don't want to eat no home cooking. Don't let them fool y'all. They don't want to eat no home cooking. They say they do. They get them a woman that could cook. What you want to eat tonight, honey? Oh, I want to eat this. I got you. They don't want that. They want a chicken nugget chick that's going to bring them a Little Caesars pizza, boil some hot water for some top ramen, raise their blood pressure. Tom, I'm going to make you a sandwich. One of my boyfriends, I should say, because I'm used to cooking, right? But it was hot that particular day. And I was like, I'm going to make a sandwich. I'm going to make them a sandwich. And it wasn't just like no piece of bread and no meat and cheese. It was a sandwich, like a double decker. I made some French fries, all that with it. So he called and said, what's for dinner? And I said, I'm making a sandwich. He said, a sandwich? Because he had gotten so used to it. But I'm like, look, it's hot.
Yeah, you should have told him it was a po' boy. A po' boy. That's different.
Right. But when he saw it, he was like, oh, okay. I'm like, man, I'm not going to just put no piece of bread and no meat in front of you like that. It was a sandwich. It was, I don't even think he ate it all. So
do you know what the difference is? You know what the difference is, ladies? And here's the problem, okay?
They ain't hungry. They ain't hungry.
No, that ain't it. Y'all can't cook like our mamas. That's the difference. And we know it. Don't get me wrong. We know you guys aren't our moms and can't cook like her. So, sometimes y'all try y'all best, but it's just not up to our standard. Like I said, and Dimitri, my mom, when she comes here, the first 2 or 3 days she's here, she's in that kitchen cooking. She says, what do you want? She makes it happen. And then after that, she's in the streets at her thrift stores doing what she wants to do. But for the first 3 days, she's cooking me the meal that I want.
Y'all ain't hungry enough. Y'all make all this. You don't cook like my mama. Yeah, we may not use fat back and everything. We want to cook a little bit more on the healthy.
Y'all don't even have the grease can on top of the stove.
Yeah, that's not healthy, brother. That ain't too damn, grease from 1959. Just keep pouring it in there. You got pig grease, beef grease, then fish grease, all in the same. I mean, just tell your mama to send some to your home with you so your wife could cook with it. Yeah, I'm sure she's got troughs of it left over, But y'all ain't hungry. Y'all don't want no home cooked meal. Yeah. Microwave chick. Do you want it on 3 minutes or 4?
And you know that thing about the grease, though? That grease was good for everything. Your mom used to curl y'all hair with it, and y'all used to get the burns on the side.
I hope not. Mike said, who told you that, Demetri? Listen, I'm speaking from experience, okay? I see it. I've experienced that. I see it all the time. Men talk about, and Steven, I'll be seeing you on Thaddeus's show. I ain't gonna tell you who I am on there. I'll be in the comment section sometimes, but I see you on there. And the cussing pastor be on there. I sure miss having a home cooked meal because he going through some things right now. And I'm like, man, you had a woman that was burning down the kitchen for you every night. You didn't want that. I'm just saying. Yeah, chicken nuggets and top ramen. That's all she know how to do. Jam sandwich. She gonna jam two pieces of bread together for you and say, "Here you go, baby." And you going, It's the best jam sandwich I ever had.
I had a girlfriend that I was in love with, the one that put me on the path of knowledge. One time we went to the all-nighter. Then, we woke up the next morning. She goes, "Oh, what do you want for breakfast?" And I'm thinking, "Oh, wow, she's about to cook." This chick, I'm sitting in the bed, like just chilling. I hear her get up, and I hear the front door slam. Right, I'm thinking, "Oh, she's probably taking out the trash." Right, you know how women do, keep the thing going. 30, 40 minutes later, she comes back from IHOP with an IHOP to go bin. I was done.
There you go. See, case in point. Case in point. There you go. And you ate every bit of it, huh? Honey, thank you for thinking of me. This was so wonderful. She probably wouldn't even know how to put a pan or a cake together herself, And Brina, did I say hello to you? How you doing? It says, get your meals from the girls. Yeah, get your meals from the girls in the DR. Why they sweeping when you don't got to tell them to sweep? Tell them to make you some pancakes.
No, I don't need to do that, because you could go to the street vendor for $3 and get you a whole plate of food.
Ladies, case in point, they go to the street vendors when they could have had a woman at home in that chicken frying dress, cooking you something good to eat. And all of y'all didn't want that.
Chicken frying dress. You need to be butt naked with just the apron on. That's all you need.
Y'all don't want that either. Y'all don't want that either. You don't. Yeah, Miss Wee says, "Well, I'll be your mama best friend so she can show me how to do it." Then most of their mamas be like Martin mama. "Girl, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to cook." Like when Gina tried to make his mama biscuits.
But it's so sad. But it's so sad because no matter what girl most of us bring home, if our mothers just don't like y'all. They tolerate you guys. They just don't like you guys. It's like you guys are in competition. It's sad.
No, it ain't that we. Oh Lord, you opened up a can. Can I talk on that just a little bit? It's not that we're in competition. We love your dear old mom. Like you said, your dear old mom don't love us because she like, that's my man. Harpo, who this? That's your mama's, right? You should see a new woman coming and you're like, oh hell no, I'm gonna run this hussy off because this my little man. And you like 59 years old, right? Mama still see you as her little man, and she find a way to fight with her. I don't like her. Look at that heifer. She kind of
about her. I'm going to agree with that because, like I said, even my mom, even some other friends of mine's mom, you're like, well, why don't you like her? I don't like her. She dressed this way. Oh, well, look, she got a tattoo. You got a tattoo. But hers is over. I'm just like, Jesus, what's really going on here? And like for me, my mom used to say this when I was younger: don't bring no girl over here you ain't serious with, right? So I didn't bring nobody to the house.
And she really was saying, don't bring nobody over here I ain't going to be serious with, okay? There's nobody. I'm never going to like her. I don't care who she is, okay? She could be Condoleezza Rice's daughter. I am not going to like her, okay? And I'm going to be your woman for life. For life. It's me and you together forever, right? And then the woman comes along and try to get along with your mama, and and I don't know, it's just something about her. I just can't, in my spirit. Y'all mamas be using that. It's my spirit. Just tell me something wrong. I don't know. I'm gonna pray on it, but I don't think she the one for you. That's that's how y'all be doing, or your mamas be doing rather. All right. So Kells, how you doing? It says microwave and heifer. Yeah, that's what they want. And then she mess around and burn it. Y'all want to know how gangster I am? I don't even buy microwave popcorn. In fact, I don't even have a microwave. You want some popcorn? I got you, boo. On the stove. I make popcorn probably, a couple times a week for myself as I'm watching TV.
Wait. Do you be drowning in the oil? Do you put the little Then oil to
Listen,
make it pop.
listen, boo, just enough. Okay, my popcorn is perfect. It's perfect. It is. I can go in there right now and make you some popcorn on the stove.
And Dimitri be making that gourmet popcorn. She'd be adding the seasoning to it and all.
Show you right. Show you right, brother. Judge, how you doing? Says I just don't trust anybody's cooking my food. I get it. Thundy says in that chicken frying slip with the stained slippers and the pots with the loose handles. Yep. See, I know you hanging out with the old ladies. Miss Sweet says my mother don't want us to. The mother don't want us to replace her, but that's impossible. He's not my man now, mama. She like, Harpo, who is this heifer?
Yeah, the moms like them after the babies have come with the kids, and the mom tolerates them. Like, well, I got to deal with her because she got my grandbaby, so I'm gonna have to deal with her.
Hey, Mrs. Tiffany, how you doing? Says I didn't get the alert for the live, but I'm here now. Yes, you are. I don't know why.
By the way, you guys, they are shadow banning channels that are not, doing the political thing in regards to the Democrats and all this other stuff. So please check your settings to make sure that they haven't clicked your setting off so you can get these alerts. That's happening to a lot of content creators out here.
How you doing, Alex? Oh, I hope y'all ain't got the Oedipus syndrome.
He meant the stepmothers. He meant the stepmothers.
Potentially. I hope y'all ain't got the Oedipus syndrome or complex. I hope you don't. But it, in a sense, not physically, but in every other way, the mama and the son, they like shoot. We think it's thieves, and it can be problematic sometimes, but what can you do? Abdul says all my family members cook at home. It's wise to do that. It's very wise.
And and think about this, you guys. If people start cooking back at home, that would really hurt the restaurant industry because they're so used to people eating out, especially the fast food aspects. Especially here in California, EBT is accepted at the fast food restaurants, but even the EBT stuff is being cut back a lot here. So
I just need 1-2 months of an EBT card. Just give me 1 or 2 months. I'll stock up. Just give me 1 or 2 months.
Just give me $100 a month, and I'm good.
You giving them half of $600, $700, $800 a month. I want that just twice, at least just twice, and then you'll never have to hear from me again. You know what I'm saying? And Rodney, did I say hello to you? If I didn't, hello. He says I only brought a few women to my mama's house. She read them right, including my wife, and so your wife was on the money. Yeah, I would say usually that's true. Mamas be knowing. They be like, some of y'all mamas is haters though. Some of y'all mamas just bona fide haters. They don't like no woman, but some of them can size them up pretty good. Like, son, no, no, I don't like how she talking and walking. If she came up to your mama house wearing that, I don't think that's your girl. And Miss Sweet says the mothers love me. It was the fathers that was hating. Really? I'm trying to think.
Yeah. My mom's biggest thing was, why do I keep dating the ratchets? I told my mom I like the ratchets.
Now that I think about it, I've only dated one guy. I'm trying to make sure this is right before I say it. One guy my whole life that had a father present. And then I met his father, my high school sweetheart. And his father loved me. And I loved him too. His mama liked me too. But I don't think I've ever been with a man after that I've met his father. Because more than likely his father wasn't there, whether he was deceased or just wasn't there. Just thought about that. Interesting. Auntie Audrey says, I don't have a microwave either. Yeah, I don't, because if you know, right? Microwaves aren't really good for you. Marcella says, I cook popcorn on the stove like old school, shake the pan, and I make a pot of popcorn every other day for my family. Yeah, that's a good cheap way to snack. And I know popcorn ain't really that optimal for you, but I like it. My daughter likes it. We both can make it. Um, and in God, we trust. It says, Madam Kamala knows Joe don't have the black vote. Did you all see the Sharpton interview? I did not see that. As probably when I didn't have no power. Uh, M says real popcorn that you have to shake the pot. Yep, that's how you do it. You got to shake it to pop it, and it's like I said, I don't cook with recipes.
You're gonna give us a science class on it. Go ahead. You're gonna give us a science class on it. Go ahead.
It's not. I mean, it's a science that you just know, right? It's not like, okay, let me get a measuring scoop. You just pour a little bit of this kind of oil. I use grapeseed oil. Pour. Okay, cool. It's covering the bottom of the pan. It's good. And you take a couple of handfuls of popcorn. You shake it up a little bit, get it coated, and then you put the top on, and then pop. And you turn it over in the bowl. And you sprinkle it with some salt or whatever seasoning you're gonna use. You shake it up. You taste it. Okay, leave a little bit more salt. Get you a little sparkling water or something, and there you go. Steven says, make popcorn in a pot with a plate to cover the pot. Now that's triple O. I have a top to go over the pot. But yeah, a plate works. Roddy says, I pop my popcorn on the stove too. See, we are triple OGs up in here. And Marcella says, my brothers wouldn't eat from a woman that cooks spaghetti. Yeah, that spaghetti. I think that's a Southern thing. Y'all make me not want to eat spaghetti from nobody other than myself after hearing that. Abdul says, I'm just glad we have family members that I got. Yes, indeed. Yes, some of us are very lucky to have I heard that about popcorn too. It can cause cancer. It can be hard on the stomach. So I've heard those things as well. And God, you said, we trust you, says, Mama said, who is this heifer? Yeah, she did. And sometimes she didn't care if the woman heard. Who this heifer? Like, she didn't care. She was going to bite her tongue because you brought a new hussy up in the house. Easy, did I say hello to you? Did I say hello to you, Easy? If I didn't, hello. I'm just reading some of these comments. And Steven says, I sleep with my mother-in-law. I slept with my brother-in-law, my mother-in-law back in the day while I was with the daughter. Don't judge me. I was young. Ooh, you dirty scoundrel. You dirty scoundrel. You. Alonzo says, mamas hate men too. They do. Al says, I told you, y'all, a girl told me she didn't talk to me because his mother was still alive. So he said he was talking to a girl, and he said she don't talk to men whose mamas are still alive because the mamas be doing a lot, She might have been on to something. I don't know. She just probably had a bad experience in the past, right? Thunder says, now that I think about it, I'm going to plant some Georgia collard greens that last all year, summer heat and winter cold, very little care needed. All right. Make sure you invite me over when you get to picking them. And Steven says, the Ratchet has the best cootie cat. You crazy. That's what Donovan says too. I have to take y'all word for it. Miss Sweet says, I'm trying to set up my son with an arranged marriage. She's a great catch. I had that conversation with my daughter the other day, and she looked at me like I was crazy. I said, let me go find a son-in-law. She's like, get out of here. M says, ratchets need loving too. They do.
Wait, what do you guys mean they do? All these ratchets out here that are having these babies and stuff. I mean, it's happening in real time. It's happening. These ratchets, basically, they've taken over the community.
Yeah, Brina says, my mom will give my brother's girlfriends that smile, then said, run, girl, run. I've had a few of my boyfriend's mom say, he ain't shit. And I learned when your mama say it, when the man's mama say that about her son, man, you better listen.
It's not even that. You guys see, Demetra ain't telling you guys the whole story. I've lost total friends because of Demetra.
And I ain't even did nothing. I I ain't never did like for real. Cause everybody thinks that me and Donovan are together, and we're totally not, right? But all these little women in Donovan's life, they see they snakes in the grass, and I'm gonna be like your mama. They ain't your girl, okay? Because they be all cool with me, and then when they feel like me and Donovan are together or something, then they get to acting stupid with him. Then if we're friends on social media, they'll block me or include me in his nonsense, or start hating on me. I'm like, I ain't never even. Girl, I was cool with you. I don't want Donovan. He don't want me. But they've got like real attitudes. I'm like, man. But now they cool with Donovan and they not cool with me. And so when they unfriend me, I just block them. Just block them all together. Take that. I mean, not in that sense. Judge says, I had a father too. Such as he was. Okay. Yep, the Red Lobster, they're filing for bankruptcy. Some of them are staying open. They're gonna try to figure out how to stay open. But I heard that they're all you can eat shrimp that they started last year kind of took them out, and just inflation. So they're trying to figure out how to stay open. But
yeah, a lot of these businesses, they operate on a shoestring budget. That's why these stores, they're barely turning a profit. And then when you raise the prices, and it goes back to macroeconomics. It's these legislators just don't know what they're doing. They just don't know what they're doing, and it's costing jobs over the long run. And it's just going to be the corporations are just going to take over. We're going to be living in RoboCop 1989 or 88 or 87 when the movie came out. We're going to be living in that type of situation where the corporations control everything.
Yeah, Tiffany. Yeah, you're right. I heard that about the microwave popcorn as well. So I don't feel so bad because I'm trying to eat as healthy as I can. Popcorn is just kind of like it's relaxing in a way,
And fat free, unless you make it like Demetra makes it.
I make it with grapeseed oil and just enough to pop it, sir. Okay.
What about the brown gravy you throw on top of it with a couple of
This is the second night in the row I almost called you the N-word, okay? The hell you putting gravy on some damn popcorn?
Demetra would be having like Big Mama, all them brown gravy packets up in the cabinet.
I'll make it from scratch. Thank you. Thunder says a buddy of mine was dating the older lady, and after she got that total hip replacement, she's gotten frisky. He said it's like they gave her an extra vertebrae. I read something else. I know that's vertebrae. Vertebrae and some omnidirectional hip joints, so she could just put them up like goal posts, huh? Got you. Steven says, I do my own cooking. I didn't marry her because she could cook, and I crazy. I don't eat her spaghetti. I don't know how true that is, but that y'all got me creeped out now. Somebody offered me some spaghetti and be like, no, I'm good, thank you. I don't eat noodles. Al says, to hell with his mama. The dads are always cool. Like I said, I only met one daddy. I'm 53. Okay, and I've had a boyfriend since I was 17. And I've only met one daddy. Where y'all daddies be? Now, I know some of them ain't, they gone up the glory, but where y'all daddies be at? I'm just wondering. Okay, let's see. In Black Lives MAGA, how you doing? It says, for those of us who say you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, don't know the game. See, that's the problem, though. Y'all be trying, and sometimes it don't work, right? She just gonna be that, right? It's not like a Cinderella type of thing. You put her in the pumpkin, you put the glass slippers on her, and she's now a housewife. She came to you with the stripper pole, and then you click your heels 3 times, whatever you do, and now she has a broom in her hand. That don't always work out that way. So proceed with caution. If you're gonna get you one of them, know that's what she is. Don't try to change her. You could try, but if that's who she is, just rock and roll with it, brother. Okay? Because more than likely, her being housewife potential that you didn't even see in the first place is not what attracted you to her. Okay? It was she allowed. Shut up, Demetra, because your daddy probably watching. So be quiet. Okay. Donovan, I like those little. I like those. Let's just wrap this. I like that. I like that. Thank you. All right. So Donovan, he sent me that it's time to go. Okay. So let's see. Let's get rid of these last comments and questions. Yeah, Donovan is wild with the damn gravy. And lying too. Black Americans, that's why men and women can't be friends, Donovan. You have to get rid of Miss D and your cats to get a decent woman. I'm not in Donovan's way. I'm not in Donovan's way at all. Not at all. I'm not stopping Donovan. Donovan's stopping Donovan, okay? There's been plenty of nice women out there, and he just acting a fool. I have nothing to do with me.
I don't like nice. I want ratchet.
And then when you get ratchet, who do you call? Whose ear are you bending? She just, I don't know, it's just somehow she getting on my nerves. I'm like, well, that doesn't sound like that's your woman.
Wait a minute. That one wasn't she wasn't a ratchet in appearance. She became a ratchet.
Oh, boo-boo, she was a ratchet. When I pulled up to your house and saw that she had expired tags, I'm like, Harpo, who this heifer Donovan with up
But see,
there?
I didn't know that. You had to tell me that. I had no clue. I wasn't looking for that. I'm thinking, oh, this woman's a nurse. Hey,
and I wasn't even hating. I was like, Donovan, get your girl some tags, right? Your woman riding. She might bring the popo here one day because she riding, and they was expired. They wasn't like expired like that month. They was like a couple of years expired. That's all I'm saying. That's all I was saying, bro. Get your girl some tags, okay? By the way, that's the one that was walking through his living room naked too, okay? My daughter was like, what the hell? I know Donovan hated to give her up, but God, Lee, I was like, I'm going to quit you or she going to quit you because you getting on my nerves, Negro. You getting on my nerves. Hey, Buckhorse, how you doing? We about to get out of here because Donovan, I'm sure, has a city council meeting or something he's got to attend. So we'll be back here tomorrow, as we always are on Wednesdays. Oh, next Wednesday or Tuesday, Lord have mercy, we're going to have a guest on here. And he wants us to think differently. Now, we've already had this conversation. He says, don't be easy on me. I'm like, who, me? Oh, clearly you don't watch the show. I'm going to let you guys be pleasantly surprised, okay? I won't tell y'all because I want y'all to be sharp. And I don't expect for y'all to
hold found Walter. You found Walter.
I found Walter, but it ain't Walter, okay? Also, some of these mamas are like the mosquitoes on the shit that, well, but who is the shit? I'm just asking. So anyway, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. I wish I can get to the rest of these comments, but I know that Donovan has to go. So we're going to get out of here. See y'all tomorrow. Y'all be cool and all of that. Peace.